soup being broken again. They would take everything from each other if they could, and so there were some who had more of everything than they could use, talking about the city in America. While crowds of people had nothing at all, and maybe even were starving. They had forgotten the earth was their mother. Men pointed guns at prisoners and made them move around like animals in a cage, and this made me feel very sad because my people too were penned up in islands. Maybe that was the way the Wasichus were going to treat them. So for the Wasichus, even the grass was penned up. They fenced in and everything. Then they put us all on a very big fireboat. I was really frightened. There were other big fireboats. What's this? Going across the Atlantic. Then there was water everywhere. And it was thundering, and we were so frightened. Afterwards, the Wasichus came and gave us things to tie around us so we could float. And they gave them all life jackets. I didn't put it on me. I did not want to float. I dressed for death. I put on my best clothes, which I wore in a show, and I sang my death song. Others dressed for death, too, because it was the end of our lives. We could not fight. This was going to kill us. Anyway, the waves were as big as mountains. I've been on the Atlantic Ocean. That is true. You get in the bad time of the Atlantic Ocean, you've never seen waves so big and so frightening, really. Though the worst waves I ever saw were on the Indian Ocean. I mean, these were waves, and, you know, you go up like this, and then boom, like that, and the whole boat would like go, you'd think the whole thing was going to fall to pieces. Don't go across the Indian Ocean in the monsoon. You will never forget that. There wasn't a person who wasn't sick on the boat except me, of course. I get sick on boats. Others do, but I don't. Anyway, he tells all about going to Europe and how Bahushka helps him come home. He gets sick. He's living with a French woman in Paris, actually, who's taking care of him, so he's having an interesting time. I can't read much more than this. I want to go on to the other, but the Messiah is on chapter 21. So you really see, you should read this whole thing. It's really interesting. How many don't think this book is interesting? Well, you can say you don't, but you know, I would be saddened, and so you don't say it to me. But hope you don't sell this book back to the bookstore at the end of the term. You want to keep some things for yourself in life. If you sell your math books, your speech books, your whatever else is that they, your lab book or whatever, you can sell those back. Don't sell a good piece of literature back. Okay. So this is about this Messiah person, which we spoke about earlier. His name was Jack Wilson, 179. He was called Wovoka. He came from California here, I think up by Lone Pine. Anyway, his whole thing was that if you danced, you could dance the people back again, dance the buffalo back to life. It was the spring of 1890s. And the Wasichus would disappear. He was coming to the Indians this time. There would not be any Wasichus in the New World that would come like a cloud in the whirlwind and crush the old earth was dying. Well, anyway, they had this sun dance everywhere, and the cavalry, including the black Wasichu soldiers, got trigger happy at this place out in Mundee and blew everybody away at this one incident. And it was in this period that they killed Sitting Bull too, the same as they had killed Crazy Horse, because they felt Sitting Bull inspired the Indians or was involved in it. They brought him in, and he got killed. And by this time, Black Elk can't take anymore. When I saw this, I wish I had died. He said, this is the butchering, it wounded me. And that goes on to the end of the dream. For instance, further along,